What is going on, guys? It is Steve here back in Motortown behind the wheel, and in this video we are going to be doing an iron run in the Atlas dump truck. I've seen a lot of people struggle with this route, and especially that first hill, so we're going to be going over some tips and tricks to make this as easy as possible and as fast as possible. Before we get into this, I just wanted to show you guys real quick some important stuff, or at least I think it's important. We're going to go into assists here. We've got auto reverse off and auto shift off. This is the most important thing, I think, especially for this run. You will really benefit from being in manual. The rest of this stuff, if you want to have a look at it, I'm not going to talk about it, but this is what I run, this is what I like. But being in manual is very important. Having control over what gear you're in is crucial for this. And then we're going to get into control here. We're going to go over to gamepad. I am using a controller to drive in this game. We're going to look at this setting here, linearity. I've got mine turned down to 0. What does that do? So basically, as I turn the stick, or as I move the stick over left and right, those movements closer to center will effectively be dampened. And this lets me be more precise with the steering input. And that tends to help, especially in these bigger trucks where it's really easy to kind of get the thing sideways or to flip it over. So that has been helping me out a lot. Real quick, shout out to JB Dossie. I believe I met him on the Workers League server. He is the one who is responsible for this floodlight setup. And he is also the one who kind of took time out of his day to show me the trick to get up that first hill, that slick hill just after Iron Mine there. The one that gives everybody such a headache, right? So thank you to him. Now I come off to the right here just to avoid that bridge. We wade through the water there. That bridge takes my lunch money every time. It absolutely kicks my butt. So I avoid it. The Atlas is pretty good at waiting. Why not? As you can see, I started off in 5 low. Truck empty, has plenty of torque, plenty of power to just get going. We're going to build some speed here as we come up to the Iron Mine. And we're going to see what we can get here, as far as weight is concerned anyway. A little bit of handbrake action. So we've got steel and H-beams, 35, a mount. There's 35 for each of them. We're going to take the H-beams just because it's paying more. This is a little bit on the lower end. You usually see it around 15, 16, all the way up to like 18, 5, 19. So we're going to fill it up here. Take all we can. See what we've got for weight. All right, and we're at 50-ton gross vehicle weight. So this will be a pretty easy one. This is about the weight the truck likes. This is about as heavy as it needs to be in order to feel right. Any lighter, it's going to be really, really bouncy. It is perfectly capable of getting the heaviest loads in this game, which I believe bring the gross vehicle weight up to around 66.5 tons. I've personally seen 66.3. So this truck is absolutely capable of doing it. I will be posting the tune in the video description as well, in case you like it and you want to get it for yourself. But real quick, we're going to make sure our Jake brake is on, and we're going to make sure we're in drift mode. This is another thing that's very important, because those other 2 modes have what is effectively stability control. And as soon as the truck starts to get a little bit tippy, it's going to mash the brakes on for you, and it is very sensitive. So if you're cruising along in this trail in this truck and you're in sport and comfort, you'll notice that you're just tanking a lot of speed, and you might not know why. It is because you are not in drift mode, and that stability control is kicking in. Thank you to Solito for letting me know that, because it was something that was giving me a headache as well. But we're going to put it in 5 low as we come down here. We're just going to manage our speed a little bit. We don't need to be fast as we head into this. Don't need a lot of speed for this. So we're going to hold it on the inside a little bit here. We're going to aim right at this rock wall. You don't need a lot of speed, like I said. And we're going to shoot for the grass over here. And as we do, we're going to downshift it into probably first will work. If you're any heavier, low is good. But first will do just fine at our weight. So basically what I did there was aim for the wall in a way that as I rode up it, I was able to input some left-hand steering, or a whole bunch of left-hand steering, and the wall kind of kicked me off and shot me straight down the straight part leading up to this uphill. And during this, I'm aiming for that grass. If you kind of mess it up a little bit, but you still have enough speed to carry you into the grass, you will be able to climb out so long as your rear tires are out of the mud. And if you come to a complete stop, you can kind of use the handbrake boosts. And I'll show you what that is real quick as it starts to rain on us. Unfortunately, rain is a hard stop in a lot of the places on this trail, especially this next big hill that we're going to be coming up to. So hopefully the rain quits by the time we get there. But real quick, the handbrake boost. I'm off the main brakes, I'm just holding the parking brake, and I am in low. And we're going to build some revs here, and when we get to about 2K, we're just going to let off the handbrake. And for anybody who watched my other video, one, thank you for sitting through. That was a long video. It was a bit of a nightmare to make, but anybody else who watched it or who has looked at the dynamometer graph for these trucks, we know that it makes its peak torque at around 1180 RPM. So boosting it up a little bit past that just to get the tires spinning, especially when you are on a very steep hill and you might consider yourself stuck, it will help you to climb. And in this truck, with the final drive I have with the 13 speed, we are able to climb all, even being very heavy. So I'm going to go ahead and come to a stop here because this hill is just not doable in the rain. If you're struggling with this and it's raining, just know it's not you. The rain in this game is hugely detrimental to traction and to grip. So we're going to come back when the rain stops. Alright guys, so the rain has quit. We're going to get going. It's a pretty short one, thankfully. Didn't have to sit here too long. I'm climbing through the gears here, and I'm looking for fourth as I come up to this hill. Sometimes when you're lighter, you can get away with 5 low, but fourth is good. We're just going to let it roll, and as we come up, we're going to downshift into low. Like I said, if you do get stuck here, this is probably about the worst place you can get stuck and come to a stop on this hill. Just go ahead. Now I'm going to hold the regular brakes as well, because as you can see, we're sliding backwards a little bit. But I'm going to do that handbrake boost just to show you guys that this works. And that's it. Easy peasy. Pin it and let it eat. And this is all about proper final drive selection for what transmission you have. I'm using the 13 speed. I believe the final drive is a 4.53. Like I said, the tune code will be in the video description here. And then we're going to take a look at another little cut here just to avoid this hill. Anybody who's done this, you know this hill is pretty dramatic. So we're going to stick off to the right here just to avoid those rocks. And as we come up, we're going to go to the left. We're open, wide open throttle in third. We're just going to plop down on the road here. Avoid that hill altogether. If you don't carry enough speed, you will roll it. So wide open in third, kind of upper range of the revs there in third works for me. And if you are too far to the right as you come off the lip as well, I noticed that the truck tends to want to roll over. So shooting for the left side there as you come up it is a good idea. We're just managing our speed here as the sun comes up, which is good timing. If it was a little difficult to see the rock wall ride because it was dark, well, I apologize. But I kind of timed it in a way that would give us daylight during the plains part of this run. As we come up to this hill, we're going to downshift to first. Sometimes second works when you're lighter, but first is good, especially if you're very heavy. If you do, again, come to a stop there, just put it in low. Do that handbrake trick. You'll climb right up. Just managing our speed through here. Don't want to get going too fast. The truck will roll over. A little bit of a cut there just to avoid some bad camber. We're going to do the same thing here to avoid that nasty mud. That is the mud that will absolutely ruin your day if you get stuck in it. As we come down here, we're going to shift up into 6 low. We're going to take our next little cut here. Right up and through. Easy peasy. You do have some wiggle room through that. You don't want to get too far to the left. As you can see, there's some nasty rocks, but we're going to brake as we come down here to the bridge. Get this thing turned just about. There we go. Now this next section here, it's pretty simple, but it's noteworthy in that there is some slick mud leading to the bridge. If you're carrying too much speed as you come up through here, you're going to see I'm pretty heavy on the brakes. If you're carrying too much speed, it is easy to have the truck push through this because of the lack of traction, and you won't make the bridge. That's not a fun time. Up and over here, and then very heavy braking on the way down through this. It is easy to carry too much speed right there and then shoot off into the water. So we want 5 below here. And then some more momentum. There we go. As we come down through here, more of that slick and that nasty mud. And we're just going to let the truck kind of roll off the edge of the road here. There is a rock right there that you don't want to hit. And there is a rock right here that you don't want to hit. Now I did turn right. I know some people turn left and take a different route. Through, I think it's Gwangjin proper, but we're going to go over when we get to Mill. We're going to look at the map and kind of look at what we did. I do truly believe this way is a lot faster. Uh-oh. Got some company here. Sorry about that. I didn't mean it, Worm. I needed to get up this. So I kind of shaded off to the right a little bit back there just to set myself up straighter for this. And I like to come over here. I'm going to downshift a second. I like to come over here just to help keep a little bit more momentum. That if you stay on the road, that uphill is pretty sharp and it can kill some speed. It's also easier to kind of shoot off to the left there. You don't need to turn it so sharply through that right hand to stay on the road. And as we come through the tunnel here, we're just building speed. We're going to shade off to the left here. Get some of that outside, inside, outside action. A little bit. Missed the apex pretty wide there, but that's okay. Then we're going to downshift into 3rd for this next little bit of a climb. And then up into 5 high, and just managing our speed. We don't want to be too fast through this. It's a little bit technical. Same with this turn. I find it's easy to get too much speed through this, thinking that you can, and the truck just wants to understeer. But with this latest tune, the understeer issue has been all but alleviated. It's working very nicely. And if you watch my video, the other video, you know what I'm talking about. If not, I kind of soften the front anti-roll bars a bit in the front suspension compared to the back, just to reduce some of that understeer I was experiencing. But we're going to get to our next little skip here. I actually saw this in a Mr. Bug video, so big thanks Mr. Bug for this little trick here. And we're just creeping off the edge of this in first. Don't need a lot of speed. And the nose does get pretty deep into the water. Sometimes it does cause the engine to shut off, but if you have a little bit of speed and you maintain that right turn, you should be able to climb out of the water high enough. I'm sticking to the right there as far right as I can without hitting that rock, just to avoid that mud. Again, if you get stuck in that mud, it is a reset. The Atlas won't climb out of that mud. And we're building speed here for this next little section. I'm going to go ahead and preemptively switch to 5 high just to allow the truck some more speed through this. And then all the way back down into low. And she just climbs right up. Again, that nasty mud, you don't want to get stopped in that. And we're on our way. going to go ahead and get up into 6 low here, but we're going to be a little bit slow just to make this less dramatic. I'm going to come right as I get around this lamppost, go right around this tree, and it just lets me set up to take this a little bit straighter. As you can see, we got a little tippy. I didn't do it quite right, but it allows you to set up a little straighter coming into that. And we are slow in low. Usually you can get this in first, but I goobered it up a little bit there. And then right here you can get up into second. And second will typically climb you through the rest of this. Guys, typically when I'm on throttle, I am full throttle. It is very rare that I am inputting any less than full throttle along this run in this truck. The brakes, I'm not usually locking the trigger to the stop on my controller for the brakes. I'm nicer on the brakes than I am on the throttle. But if you were wondering about throttle input, you can kind of watch the turbocharger meter down there on the bottom right, and that'll clue you in kind of what I'm doing. As we come up to this, we're just going to go ahead and downshift into low. Sometimes first is good enough. We're a little bit lighter. We probably could have got away with first, but low works just fine. I'm going to show you guys this. I don't think this is necessary, and I don't know that it's necessarily faster. I like it when I'm really heavy because it avoids the elevation changes over there. So we're just going to shoot off to the left here. And you do, this line that I've figured out is pretty good. You do have to pick your way through this a little bit. There is some nasty geometry and some big rocks out here that will slow you down, and you don't want to carry a bunch of speed through this. But I find it to be a little bit easier, like I said, especially when I'm heavy, than dealing with the terrain shift or that elevation change along the road. And then we got another cheeky little maneuver here. We're going to ride up this rock wall just a bit. And we're going to come back down. And that just gives you some more speed and a straighter shot into this uphill section. You can leave it in 5 low all the way through this, even when you are very heavy. Just be careful as you go up that wall. You do need some speed going into it, otherwise the truck is going to want to roll over. Down through all this, and then another cheeky little change. Not following the road here. We're going to go off this. Come around that tree there just to avoid this mud. It's not a big deal. You don't need to do it. As long as you carry some speed down out of that corner, you'll get through that mud just fine. And we're going to make sure we stick it to the right here because that rock sucks. Another cheeky little cut just to avoid another 90-degree turn. And as you can see, that is ore storage. We turned right. We ignored the GPS. The GPS is silly. It doesn't know what it's talking about. We didn't go left. We went right. And like I said at the end here, I'll pull up the map and kind of go over where I went, what I did. Straight lines are our friend. We're looking for speed here, so there's nothing to worry about hitting right through here. And this is something I figured out. I've seen some people kind of stay off to the right and go off this way, but we're going to go this way. Right around this tree. Across the road a little bit here, come to this side of the grass. Managing our speed, we're not looking to just completely pin it through here, but we do want to be fast. Come right up through here. Go ahead and downshift into 7 low just to get us some extra revs. I'm going to slow down a little bit up this, and we're going to go to 6 low. And then for the keen-eyed of you, if you've looked at this part of the map before, you can kind of see what looks like either might be a road or would have been a road. And we are on that right now. As you can see, it's all graded, nice and smooth. We're going to follow this a little bit. And there's our marker for the steel mill off in the distance there. Come down through this stuff. Now you can keep following this as it goes off and to the right, but I like this line. It's another decent little cut. And it's kind of fun. You get a little airborne coming up here, so. There's a decent little jump. Yeah. Now for this one right here, pretty heavy on the brakes. This one's gross. It gets a little aggressive. And we're gonna kind of split these two mountains, if you will. We're gonna get back onto what would have been a road. We're gonna make sure we stick off to the left here, just because there's a big hole right there. We don't want to hit that. Shout out to Dingus for showing me this in the first place. I believe it was on Stonytown server. He's the one that kind of clued me into this route. And as we come down here, we're back on that road-like surface again. We're going to do something a little bit special. This is a music mic trick. He's the one who showed me this. Come right off the end here. Big air. And into the water. So the way the water is coded in this game, it does shut the engine off, but it doesn't seem to have any resistance. So you're able to just submarine along the bottom here. And because it shuts the engine off, it effectively doesn't let the engine overspeed. The engine's not running. So you get a bunch of speed, and you're able to cruise along the bottom here. It is perfectly flat out here. There's nothing to worry about running into, no bad geometry, nothing like that. And we're going to come up this hill out the other side. We're going to downshift a little bit, and then we are going to be able to abuse the tow to nearest road function, because we are close enough to steel mill and far enough from everything else to go ahead and teleport ourselves right in here for the delivery. I'm going to get over here. I'm going to go ahead and pick up a contract. So as I pull up over here, like I said, I'm going to go get that contract, and then we're going to complete this delivery, and I'll show you guys just how much money this made. There's H-beams, right? Yep, okay. Come here, grab our contract. I was going to cut this. I decided to leave it in for anybody who doesn't know where the point is for the H-beam contracts or pickups. It's right here in this building. For steel coils, if you're taking iron ore to the steel coil delivery point, this is where you get the contract for that delivery. We're going to cruise on back over here. Run. We're going to get in here and deliver this. We're going to see how much money we made, and then I'm going to open up the map and kind of go over where we went, what we did here. So there it is, guys. 320K with the contract bonus. Of course, if we do H-beams again, we'll get that delivery or that contract completion bonus. So we'll get that extra, you know, if we were to find the same price for the iron ore up there delivering 2 H-beams, we would get that 23 grand plus another 27 tacked onto it. And this took, I want to say, about 20 minutes. I know once you get good at it and you really start to figure it out, and especially if you're lighter, getting sub 20-minute times doing this is absolutely doable. I believe the fastest I've been able to do it is about 18 minutes. So if we have a look here, there was the campy we spawned at. Here's the iron pickup. So we come up through this. We take a right-hand turn here. Like I said, some people do left and go through Gwangjin. and then down this nasty muddy road. That's that awful texture that you'll get stuck in, but because it's downhill, it's doable in the Atlas. And at some point down here, I haven't done this myself, but at some point they step off and they drive down through here, over in this area, and then whenever they want to, or if they don't, they just drive all the way in. But you can get around here and use the reset to nearest road function. We obviously didn't do that. We took a right turn, came down the rest of the trail. There's the pond. It looks like snow, but it's not. That's the pond, so we skipped this. And then we took a right turn, came down through all of this stuff, through what could be, or would have been, a road. And this is where that music mic skip happened. Makoa, he's out here in a Jamusi. He knows what's up. This is where that mic skip happens, so we shoot down this hill and then off into the water. And it covers a pretty good amount of distance, right? I mean, you're going, you start off at about 100 miles an hour and you're cruising through most of this at 80 or 90. So you're able to cover a lot of ground pretty quickly. And then, like I said, we got up to about here. Utilized that reset to nearest road, just like you saw Makoa do, that jump there, and made our delivery. And that is about it. So hopefully that helped. Hopefully you're able to do this run faster and easier because of the tricks and tips that I was showcasing here. I do truly believe that this is the best way, the fastest way to make the most amount of money. As you can see, I'm sitting at about 9 mil. I really don't try to make a ton of money doing this, but if my math is correct, you can get about $1 mil an hour doing these. So it is quick. It is a lot of fun as well if you're into the off-road technical stuff. So it's a good time. But I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you learned something. I hope you were entertained. And I'll catch you later.